Man, what an introduction. Old, I'm old. Okay, that'll be all right. Full of wisdom, though. I like that. Shawana, did you hear that? Full of wisdom, baby. Man, I was nervous to come here tonight. I was all day, actually all week. I've been nervous. And now, is it really online? Wow, now I'm really nervous. But you know what? I think God has a word for tonight. And you can either receive it or not. He's already given us a word through song. He's already been here tonight. And this has been a wonderful day. And I don't know how many know, but on Sunday mornings, I don't get to be out here. Sit down, Rocky. On Sunday mornings, I don't get to be out here a whole lot for the message. I have to do a little bit of work, but this morning, man, that pastor, he wouldn't let me work. He was getting after it, and I was enjoying the flip out of that. So that was awesome. So we enjoy our pastor when he preaches the word. I don't get to hear him enough. I like to hear him a whole lot more myself, but we love him and appreciate you guys. Well, I had while we were right after prayer, I had my phone went off, and I looked down, and it said NFL teams ranked. Well, I'm sure not going to look because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I'm not going to look where any of them. Probably 32 would be my team, but I got to thinking, what if we ranked churches in town? Where would we be? What if we ranked ourselves in our own services? Where would we be? I don't know about you, but there's a lot of things that in my life that I would rather do different sometimes. I wished that I had done different at times. There's a lot of things I wish I would have not done at all. But you know what? In the end, right here's where I'm at. And God's called us to do a work, and we're going to do it. I believe in my heart that you don't have to be the best at what you do. You just got to be willing at what you do for Christ. I've played drums since I was 8 years old, and there's many drummers that can. Well, in fact, there's a lot of drummers that's going to be in this church that and maybe already here. Josh is a phenomenal drummer. My nephew back there is a phenomenal drummer. But they can't do what God's called me to do. They can only do what God's called them to do. And we're going to do, and God wants you to do the same thing. I don't have 9 points, Toby. I don't know how many points I have, but so many I can't count them. I've got 5 pages, but during about the second page, I said, I'm going to make this font bigger so I have more pages to. So I did that. But I was driving down the road, and I'm almost going to read a lot of this off of my pages because it's the way the Lord gave it to me. It's the way I want to give it to you. And we're all family here, right? Everybody loves each other. Even Jason, he's an Arkansas fan. But the other day I was driving down the road, and in case you don't know, Shawana and I live on a dead-end road. And I saw the sign, and it said, dead end. And I thought, you got that right. It's a dead end. Today has been a dead end. My life today has been a dead end. There has not been anything today that has put me to where I think I can even get out of it. And that's immediately negative thinking. And I don't want this message to be a negative message or negative thought at all. I want you to know that there is a God and that He brings us out of wherever we're at and where and puts us where we're supposed to be if we allow Him to do that. But my mind immediately went negative. I questioned God. I even said, where have you been? Where are you? I've been faithful. I've paid our tithes. I've even prayed for people on the phone when they're in need. You know, a lot of times I've said, God, I want to have that boldness. That when I speak, that I speak with boldness. And when I talk to people, I talk with boldness for you and for what you have in our life. And I want to be able to stand and be able to say that, God, I prayed. I did what I was supposed to do at that time. We work hard. We love God. I said, God, we even work in the church. We help others in need. And we love doing that. If you don't know my wife very well, she loves people, not to be seen by people, but she loves to help people. Loves to help you. If you need help, go to her, and she'll do it. I promise you. She's a prayer warrior. But we do all these things, and so what is going on? We feel like we're at our dead end, at the end where we can't get out. I've even questioned how we live our Christianity. And I wondered why I was even saying all of this tonight, because I look around and I see a bunch of Christians, a whole bunch of Christians. But then I also don't know your life. I don't know where you're at right now. And there's a reason why God wanted me to do this. I've even questioned how I live our Christianity. A lot of us live differently than other people. So a lot of us, we live our lives according to way. And I don't want you to get this wrong. There's only one way, and that's Jesus Christ. Okay? There's only one way. But we live our daily lives according to a lot of how we were raised or not raised. And so that's when we have to be taught, and we have to get in the Word, and we have to know what He says about each individual thing. But maybe I need to just turn it all in and give up and just go to church when I feel like it. Well, it works with others. I mean, why wouldn't it work for me? I mean, but one thing that God, I believe that He brought to my mind, even though church is very, very, very important to get around my friends and my family, and to glean from you, from be able to love and feel love, and also not only your love, but Christ's love in a joint time. But it's not how many times you go to church or go to church functions. It's how many times you let the enemy talk you out of coming to church or church functions. That's where it's at. So how many have felt that way? How many has felt that way before in your life? We've had a lot of things that's attempted to derail us lately. A lot of things. Man, this really does sound negative, doesn't it? I'm not intending this to be negative tonight. But we've had a lot of things that has attempted to derail us lately. One of them being what? COVID. The big C. I told Nova a while ago, I said the big C. I said my voice is hoarse and people are going to think I got the big C. But I just need a drink. Somebody filled that water bottle up now, let me tell you. That must have come from PFG. We refill them. Oh, okay. That's good. See, I told Nova go get a drink because I'll probably feel better if you go get a drink real quick. I'll be able to run around up here and stuff. Many things tried to derail us, one being COVID. Number two, the difference of opinions about COVID. I'm so sick and tired of that. Me and Shawana don't even agree on COVID. We agree on a lot of things, but we don't agree on some things about COVID. That's my own wife, 33 years. But I've learned to stop trying to change her point of view. Not only hers, but yours too. I'm not going to try to change yours either. Politics and the election. Do you realize that there are people that won't even go in the same room of someone else that is voting for a different party? And I'm not just talking about the presidential election. I'm talking about the county, the city, the state, the whatever, the school. They won't even go in the same room as someone else that's voting the other way. To me, that's not Christ-like. I know other sicknesses, because there are still things, Nova and I were talking about this, there are still other things that are causing sicknesses in lives today. I've got a buddy of mine that I worked with for 10 years, and he's retired, and he had a massive heart attack just a little while ago, a few weeks back, and he's having some problems. So there's other things going on rather than just COVID. So there's other sicknesses. Knowing what to do concerning the services by our leadership and our pastors. Do you think it's an easy job for pastor to say, everybody come on, let's go to church, let's worship God? Do you think, well, it's easy today. As of today, I heard him say, we're not closing. He thinks that's the worst thing that ever happened to the church, but it got people used to not coming. And I would agree. But knowing what to do. Loss of jobs, time out of jobs. Not just jobs that have been lost, but a lot of people lost a lot of time out of their jobs that didn't get the funding that they needed. Loss of life. We've even had people in our own body that has lost their life. That's things that tend to try to derail us lately. But you can't do enough or be good enough to make everything better. You can only be obedient and allow God to do what He wants to do. And faith in the process God has set before us. There's a scripture in Mark chapter 8, 35 through 35 says, "For whoever wants to save his life will lose it. And whoever will lose his life for my sake and the gospel's." There's a lot of people out there saying that they're going to lose their life for. I've heard it. I've heard it a lot. A lot of people say they're going to lose their life. They'll just give their head. They won't take nothing. But they're doing it in self. In self, they can do it. But here it says, "Who are to lose their life for my sake and the gospel," the good news, the preaching the word, the loving. "The same shall be saved. For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" I'm going to read it out. That's out of the King James and out of the Message. Anybody got any magnifying glass? I didn't make that big enough. Calling to the crowd to join the disciples, he said, "Anyone who intends to come with me has to let me lead. You're not in the driver's seat, I am. Don't run from suffering, embrace it. Follow me and I'll show you how. Self-help is no help at all. Sacrifice is the way, my way, to saving yourself, your true self. What good would it do to get everything you want and lose you, the real you? What could you ever trade your soul for? What would you ever trade your soul for?" So, are you at your dead end today? I was at my dead end. I'm not bragging on it. I'm just saying I was at my dead end. Dead end actually means an end of a road or passage from which no exit is possible. That's a dead end. And I believe that I live in a cul-de-sac. It actually said cul-de-sac. So we have a house in a cul-de-sac, and I'm fixing to tell you a little about that too. There may be other roads that you can take inside that dead end, but they all lead to nowhere. And if you're down your dead end, you say, "Well, I'll just take this road. I'll make it easy on myself. I'll just take this other road here." When you're on your dead end and you take that road, then you're going to wind up same old thing that you was before, but you're going to be worse off. Have you ever had and probably most of you have not driven a truck, but if you've ever driven a truck down a place to where there's no way out and you have to back out, or you got to get your way out somehow, Pastor would know, a lot of you would know, it's tough. It's not an easy thing to do. It's hard to get it out of there. Hello. And it's not fun unless you know what you're doing. But what if there is a way out? In 1 Corinthians 10 and 13 it says, "There hath no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way of escape, that you may be able to bear it. So I'm driving down this road and I see this dead end sign and I say, yep, you ain't kidding. We put our house up for sale a year ago, and circumstances, I guess this is one thing that led to it, and this is not poor Orville or Shawana, because God's got a way. God knows the way. He knew all of this. But we put our house up for sale, not because of our wonderful neighbors, but because we just wanted to move out in the country. So we put our house up for sale. We got a contract on the house after, actually it was after 8 months, we got a contract on the house. And 5 days before we went to sign the contract, or sign everything over, something happened. And it fell through. So this is, we're excited. In between this time, we go to what are we living in? A duplex. And it's a nice place. But we move over there because the house is sold. So we move over there, getting ready, and then this all falls through. Well, in the meantime, during all this, we know it's sold. Lesson learned. Until you sign the papers, it's not sold, okay? In all this, we went out and we bought some land. So we're going to build a house. That's what our main goal was, is to build a house. And out in the country, nothing fancy, just something out there where kids can run wild and go nuts. And because it's hard to do that in a duplex. But for some reason, it didn't happen. Now we live in a duplex that has a 1-year contract. We have a house that we still owe on, and we have land that we don't know what we're going to do with now for a while, for now. But God does. Yes, He does. We was talking in Aaron this morning in our prayer. Aaron actually asked that we pray about that in our worship band prayer. And he started talking and speaking. Actually, he didn't know it, I don't think, but he started speaking life into that situation. He said, maybe it's not the right time. And maybe it's not the right time. We still don't know what we're going to do yet, but God still knows. So, what if? I think I remember a couple of weeks ago, was it last week or week before last, Aaron, that you spoke? Last Wednesday. And I remember him saying the two words, what if? And I don't remember, don't get this wrong, I don't remember what was right behind that. But I remember him saying, what if? Well, what if God asked you to sacrifice your job as an offering to Him? God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son. What if God asked you to sacrifice something that you love for Him? In Hebrews 11 it says, by faith he knew God would raise Isaac from the dead, even if He did have to kill him. He knew that by faith. What if there was a family that noticed it had started raining a lot, and that was their dead end? And then they remembered, oh yeah, we built a boat 120 years ago. We're sitting out here. It happened. It's Noah, remember? It happened. It took them 120 years to build a boat. But they had a boat because the faith they had in God when they first started looking for lumber or wood or tree. What if there was a baby, not just any baby, but your baby, that had to be put in a river just to be spared? Not knowing that later he was going to grow up and lead the children of Israel out of Egypt, out of bondage. What if that happened to you today? What if you were being chased by your enemy and there was no way out? So your enemy can be a lot of things. It can be sex. It can be drugs. It can be alcohol. It can be lying. It can be your food. What if you're being chased by all of that? And you're at your dead end and you don't know what to do? because you give in every single time. But by faith, you have to walk. By faith, you say no. Now, what if your ending is not good? What if you lose your job? What if you get COVID? What if a family member does pass away? What are you going to do then? What if things happen? What if you give in every single time? Then you get right back up. Hebrews 12, 1 through 3 says, do you see what this means? All these pioneers who blazed the way, all these veterans cheering us on. It means we would be better to get on with it. Strip down, start running, and never quit. No extra spiritual fat. No parasitic sins. Keep your eyes on Jesus, who both began and finished the race we are in. Study how he did it, because he never lost sight of where he was headed. That exhilarating finish in and with God, he could put on. Hang on a minute. Study how he did it, because he never lost sight of where he was headed. That exhilarating finish in and with God. He could put up with anything along the way. Cross, shame, whatever. And now he's there in a place of honor, right alongside God. When you find yourselves flagging in your faith, go over that story again, and that will shoot adrenaline into your souls. So what are you going to do? Everyday life is enough to get us down, and life messes with us. I think a lot of times we look at things that are, and Satan is out to kill, steal, and destroy. He's out, that's what his job is to do. But a lot of times we get ourselves in messes. It's not always Satan doing things. Sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's life. I know a lot of great Christians that's died. Just lost a lady, Joanne Phillips. She was one of my mom and dad's best friends when Dad had his church. They were great people. She just lost her life to COVID. She was in a nursing home, but she just lost her life to COVID. And she was a great woman of God. She loved the Lord with all her heart. Everybody has life. Everybody has to live life. So stand firm, and you'll see the deliverance of the Lord will bring you today. He said that the Egyptians, Moses told all the children, said, the Egyptians you see today will never see you again. That's a great thing. When we find out that the Egyptians, when the thing that is following us, the dead end we're on, when we see that coming our way, then we can pray to God and know that that will never see you again if you hold fast to God and let Him lead you. Stephen Furtick said this, and Shawana sent this to me the other day. For everybody who is standing in the place of disappointment today, I want you to know that there is a door standing open before you. If you don't believe me, go to Friday when it looked like the door on salvation had been closed forever. I want you to go with me and see where they sealed the tomb, where they said, we got him now. But I'm grateful that there's another door, because listen to me, in case you don't understand what resurrection is. Resurrection says get up when you can't get up. Resurrection says live when it looks like you're dying. Resurrection says new beginning when it looks like a dead end. What's your dead end tonight? What is keeping you from where you need to be? If you're going down a dead end road, it's a lost cause until you let God lead you through that dead end.